Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, June 23rd, 2017. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says there needs to be a sensible conversation as it relates to pension reform in public service. The Prime Minister, who wears the hat of Minister of Public Service, was speaking at an open discussion held earlier today under the theme, "How do we accelerate innovation in public service delivery in St. Vincent and the Grenadines?" In recognition of Public Service Day, which culminated the activities for Public Service Week. According to the Prime Minister, pension reform is nothing but a political dynamite, as it is the nature of people to protect their financial assets.
People are always going to want to protect every single dollar of their existing pension arrangements from now until eternity. We are one of the few countries remaining in the Caribbean. There are several countries which have removed this pension by the state, non-contributory, and a contributory one through the National Insurance Services. And the actuarial studies have shown, and I ask Ed Morris and Edmund to show all the public servants the numbers. By 2025-27, by and large, most public servants are on target to receive more money when they retire as a pension as they get as a salary.
As it relates to resources made available to the public service to carry out its function, Prime Minister Gonsalves noted that SVG is still ahead of many countries in this regard.
This country provides a lot of resources to keep the public service going. The taxes which we collect, 60 cents out of every dollar go towards paying salaries and retirement benefits. 60 cents out of every dollar. And of course, you want more. So anything we do, we have to make it sustainable. And we always have to remember that difficult as may be the economic circumstances of many civil servants, people who sustain us are many of them, in fact most of them, are in a situation not as good as us.
The Prime Minister used the opportunity to appeal to all public servants to work together for the betterment of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Now, our country is too small for us to have workplaces, and our public service too small for us to have our workplaces degenerate into essentially war zones. And we can send an email in seconds, and as human beings we send men to the moon. But some public servants don't even want to talk to the person next to them. Yeah? So, a very innovative idea in that respect is to have a little courtesy for your colleague.
The Director of the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, NTRC, Apollo Knights, outlined some staple guidelines to it promoting innovation within the public service.
So the secret, I think, to innovation is to read a lot in general areas and also to read about new technologies. With this knowledge, we will see how we can apply new technologies to current challenges and needs. Also be persistent enough to see things through when you are faced with challenges and naysayers. Thereafter, you see how you can make changes to save costs and improve efficiency and productivity. Also need to be able to convince staff of the changes need to be done. Sometimes they want to make a change, they're reluctant, so what I do sometimes is do a pilot stuff, so I do it from 1 month, and then they see they get the winning. They try it and say, just do it for 1 month. If they like it, then they do the change.
The winners of the Customer Service Excellence Awards as part of the Public Service Week of activities held during the period the 19th to 23rd June 2017 are as follows. Third place, the Treasury Department. Second place, Immigration Department. And the Best Customer Service Award in the Public Service went to the Customs and Excise Department. Queen's Counsel Anthony Estefan is advising radio stations here to be more attentive to what is said on the airwaves. This word of caution comes as the Court of Appeal upheld the decision of the lower court, which ruled in favor of Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves of just over $200,000 for a defamation suit against Nice Radio. On June 12th, Dr. Gonsalves filed a bankruptcy petition against BDS Nice Radio Limited for Brian Glass to be appointed the bankruptcy trustee. Both parties are due in court on Monday, June 26th, where it is expected that the owner of Nice Radio, Douglas De Freitas, will make the full payment of the outstanding monies. Estefan, who has represented the Prime Minister in other cases, said De Freitas and other radio station owners must ensure that they safeguard themselves from defamation suits which could liquidate their company.
Must stop pretending that they are the victims when they have in fact allowed their radio programs and their radio station to be used to attack persons who have the absolute constitutional and legal right to respond either by civil defamation cases or by a private criminal complaint for libel or slander. The radio stations who are allowing political parties and persons to continue a campaign of, or to make specific allegations of criminality without proof or without proper research and investigation into whether these allegations are true or not, are going to find themselves in problems, because if they cannot pay the compensation, the party who has gotten the award of compensation is going to be in a position to want to put them in receivership to get his or her money back.
Meanwhile, De Freitas said that there is a concern over the way this country is being run, and this frustration sometimes comes out in the wrong way on the airwaves. He said that he continuously makes the effort to remind persons to speak wisely, but sometimes there are slips through the cracks.
I don't hate Gonsalves. I tired say that, but I like be a broken record. I hate some of the things that he has done and some of the things meted out to people who do not support his politics. And history is the greatest teacher. If you look at the very same persons who supported Gonsalves, so his rise to political fame, those who are truly conscious and care about this country and social justice have ended up on the wrong side of Gonsalves and have suffered greatly. So there are great people on either side. And the people who are donating, it is because they want to see a difference. They want to have a free will. I just ask people to be responsible in this free will and how they speak, because the law is not on our side. Those who speak freely, the law is not on your side. The law is only for those who are in authoritative position.
And opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday is appealing to Vincentians and other persons to help Nice Radio remain operational by pledging their financial support through a series of radiothons to be held on the station. Dr. Friday said it is important to keep the station on air because, according to him, it gives persons a platform to air their concerns of what is taking place in society.
The listeners out there, everybody, understand why this is so important. That we raise the funds and that we do it quickly. Somebody called me this morning and they said to me about it. It's a very intriguing idea. He said, you know, if you have $100,000 more to go, it's all you need is 100 people, each person to pledge $1,000. It sounds simple as 100 people to pledge $1,000. Let's find those 100 people. Let's do it and get this behind us so we can return to the matters that are of critical importance. We must have this radio station existing to help us to get our message out there, to reach with our supporters, to hear from them all over St. Vincent and the Grenadines and far beyond, in England, in Canada, in the United States. It is so critical. For communities abroad, you know, individuals can send the funds, but you can also do fundraisers. I know in my own community in Beckwith, there are 2 initiatives already. One person stopped and he said that they're going to do a walk around, a pledge sheet. They're going to go around and collect whatever they can.
The opposition leader also took the opportunity to congratulate the Vera family on 75 years of doing business here in SVG.
In celebrating 75, the Vera family, I'm sure, will do some of that and look to how they can serve their community better and to flourish as a business, because when they succeed, we all succeed. That is the approach that we take in the Democratic Party. It's not a question of us competing against the private sector and looking to see what they're making and to see why is it they're making this and how can government share in it. That's not the idea. The idea is that when the private sector succeeds, they hire people, they pay taxes, they do community service. You know, when somebody is sick, they don't just go to government ministers, they go to people in business. When they have their children to go to school, they go to them to ask for assistance. They perform a very important social function in addition to the business function that they provide in offering services to the community. So my congratulations to the Vera family, to PH Vera and Company, and I wish you all the success going forward.
General Secretary of the ruling Unity Labour Party, Julian Francis, on radio earlier this week said from the reports he received, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was not properly informed about the arrival of the Queen's Baton Commonwealth delegation, who arrived here on Saturday, June 3rd and left on Wednesday, June 7th. Francis said that the National Olympic Committee did not give proper correspondence about the entourage and their positions, and as a result, they were refused permission to use the VIP lounge at the Argyle International Airport. The minister accused the SVG Olympic Committee of trying to slight the role of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Sports and embarrass the government.
These guidelines are posted online, and the information that's necessary for the use. And it stands out as this: name and status of VIP. So you have to indicate that there's a VIP, a very important person. But you have to give them the name and the status. Flight details, including any transit and stops. The exact number, status, and relationship of persons traveling with the VIP. A maximum of 5 persons allowed. The names and designations of persons meeting and seeing off the VIP, a maximum of 2 persons allowed. In the original letter, they never said who is going to meet them. It is just in the email on the morning when the flight was supposed to be coming in that they were informed that Trevor Bailey and somebody else would meet them, would be outside waiting for them.
According to Francis, the Argyle International Airport has different parameters to that of the now defunct E.T. Joshua Airport, with different security measures which must be followed.
E.T. Joshua didn't carry these sort of restrictions and heavy security arrangements. If I want to use, before I want to use the E.T. Joshua Airport, I used to drive into the parking lot and open the door and go in. I can't do that at Argyle International Airport. Even as a Minister of Government, I have to clear security. Write to Foreign Affairs, call Foreign Affairs, make the arrangements for me to use the VIP lounge. So that the persons who are coming in, nobody in St. Vincent knew who Fortuna Belrose was. Nobody. Not Foreign Affairs, not members of Cabinet, not the Ministry of Sport.
President of the Public Service Union, Elroy Boucher, has expressed concern with the present situation at Her Majesty's Prison as it relates to staffing and hopes the issue will be resolved soon. Speaking at a media conference earlier this week, Boucher said many of the prison officers are forced to work overtime to fill the gaps. Boucher noted that while the officers are giving of their best, many suffer from burnout, which poses a threat to their health.
There was a situation at the prisons where they were understaffed, and there were some 14 positions on the book that were not filled. This understaffed situation caused prison officers to be working extra hours, to the extent that many of them started experiencing burnout. I know when they worked the extra hours, they were given back the time in lieu of payment. But no amount of time can compensate for your health. A place like the prisons, it's a matter of security, should be at all times fully staffed.
The PSU president says they have been in discussions with the relevant authorities to rectify the situation and other issues, and was assured that they will be.
I met with the permanent secretary, Mr. Pompey. I can report, and he has given us the assurance that before the year is out, all 14 positions will be filled. These positions will alleviate the shortfall as it relates to staffing. There's also this situation at the prisons where persons have been acting for 2 or more years. Now, I don't understand how in the service you can be acting in a position for so long. Which again speaks to the case that we have brought against service commissions. This is unjust. It is not right. And oftentimes when you have been acting for so long, you may very well hear that the position is given to somebody else. And we have asked the permanent secretary to do what has to be done to ensure that these persons who are acting are conformed to the positions and all these vacant posts are filled.
Residents of Trigger Ridge in the Redemption Shops area today celebrated with Violet Tantivai Cumberbatch on her 100th birthday. Governor General Sir Frederick Ballantyne was part of the celebrations as he gifted the Centenarian with a bouquet of flowers and congratulated the entire family. The Centenarian took the opportunity to express her gratitude on having lived a fulfilled life, praising God for her achievements, while a few family members stated how grateful they are to have Tantivai a part of their lives.
Well, I'm thanking God to be alive. Praise Him for His goodness that He keep me thus far. What a wonderful Savior, Jesus my Lord. A wonderful Savior to me. He has kept me thus far from prison as long as He let me break. I can't praise Him for His goodness. His wonders, huh?
You happy to see it?
We'll be celebrating with our aunt today, Tantivai, to making the first one in the family to reach this milestone. And as we, as a family, surrounded her to give all the support, not only just the family, but the community. And so we are saying today that God bless her to reach, and we're looking forward that we will see maybe the second one or the third one, because we discovered that we are long-living family, and we're hoping that somebody else will make and reach this milestone. So Tantivai, we're wishing you all the best and your 100-year celebration, and we ask you God bless you.
I'm very proud of my aunt, extremely proud of my aunt. For years and years I come to this yard, and every day I come to this yard and tell her hello, and she always give me something to eat on my way. Now I'm abiding in Canada with my brothers, and we all come down here to celebrate this milestone, 100 years.
And we'd certainly like to wish Tantivai a happy birthday from all of us here at SVG-TV as well. Superintendent of Police Ruth Jacobs has expressed satisfaction with the staging of rural carnivals this year as it relates to security. During an interview with SVG-TV News earlier this week, SOP Jacobs noted that of all the rural carnival activities thus far, there were no major incidents, adding that they're happy most revelers have been adhering to the police appeal to keep the carnival festivities violence-free.
So far, I believe in Chateaubalais there was 1 or 2 incidents, but so far I think from Mesopotamia and I think in Kettles there were no major incidents reported. So far I believe it is going good. What we do, the police force is about 900 strong from several stations and departments. So what we do for the Carnival season, we have an operations manager, operations officer, who will ensure that there is an operational plan. And if we have to bring in all our officers from whichever station, whichever department, we ensure that we have enough manpower to make sure that we deal with the situation.
The Criminal Investigation Department's top cop said that with the celebration of the 40th anniversary of the June-July Festival, an influx of visitors is expected and that the police will put measures in place to ensure a safe Vincy Mass 2017 for all revelers.
This year, I think the CDC is celebrating their carnival for 40 years. And as a result of that, the police already started to put systems in place to ensure that the celebration is crime-free, and to make sure that it goes well, the safety of the public is maintained and everything like that. I anticipate a lot of people coming into St. Vincent to ensure that they celebrate the 40 years, and I anticipate a good carnival. I anticipate that the persons coming in to St. Vincent will be safe, and we are working hard to ensure that the persons are safe. I am just looking forward to a good season. We do have a close relationship with the CDC, and we have a police officer, a very senior police officer, who sits on the CDC board. So every decision that is made that has to do with the police, he is the person who will speak and act on behalf of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force.
So there's a free flow of communication?
There is.
SOP Jacobs took the opportunity to further appeal to revelers to exercise caution during the festivities and look out for each other.
I would like to ask the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure that you conduct yourself in keeping with law and order. You know that you're coming into Kingston, you know that we have the no bottle policy in place, and you know that you will not drink in a bottle and use the bottle to injure some other person. I would just like the persons to, whatever differences they have, to ensure that they deal with the differences outside of coming into Kingston and dealing with it. If there is an issue that someone does anything to you, you ensure that you report the matter to the police. You go to the station office, you come up to CID, and you report the matter to the police. Let the police investigate the matter and take action. Do not try to take your own action, because if you try to take your own action, there is when you will be in trouble.
50 local soca and raga soca artists will tomorrow, Saturday, June 24th, vie for a spot on the list of finalists to compete for the 2017 Soca and Raga Soca Monarch titles. Dubbed Boarding Pass, the show, which is slated to begin at 6 p.m. at the E.T. Joshua Tarmac, will determine the artists who will be coming up against reigning Soca Monarch Shane Hyper 4000 Husbands and reigning Raga Soca Monarch Chawali Johnson at the 2017 Soca Monarch Finals, scheduled for Carnival City Victoria Park on Saturday, July 8.